And I'm just telling you, this is really well thought out, and you cannot trick it the way that it's designed. So again, we have these people in our treatment court. They make frequent court appearances every week for quite a while. They're randomly drug tested at least, and just because you got a DWI doesn't mean that we don't test you for cocaine and methamphetamine and all those things too. We require them to go to AA or NA meetings and make sure that they get a job. We monitor their payment of court costs and fees and child support appeals, and we make them go to treatment. The treatment court really works. There are 141 treatment courts in the state of Missouri. We're one of only 20 DWI courts in the Second Circuit. There have been 16,000 graduates. My numbers on this are a little bit behind. But here's one of the things I want you to see. People that graduate from a treatment court, a DWI court, or a drug court, the percentage of those people that get rearrested is about 9%, as opposed to people who are just placed on regular old probation. It's more like 32%. So the investment in getting the people clean and teaching them how to stop drinking and go to AA meetings really works on making our communities a safer place. And it saves us a lot of money. The cost, when you think about treatment and all of the things that we have them do, is about $5,000 for somebody that's in the drug court for a 2-year period. A prison room costs about $12,000. So we're not only making more productive people and getting them back to work and paying taxes, but it's cheaper in the long run to do this too. There's a different style of interlock device. So there, so far in the DWI court programs, there have been 1,200 limited driving privileges approved. There are others outside the drug court if the statistics are kind of hard to come by. So the statute says the judge gives the person the right to drive again, and I can give it to them 45 days after they're in the DWI court. I frankly don't think that's long enough to make sure that they're going to remain sober, and so we've adopted a policy here in the Second Circuit. You have to prove to me that you've been 10 months clean before I'll give you a driver's license back. It's a limited driver's license. It's not just going out tooling around. It's going to work, going to treatment, going to see your lawyer, coming to court, all business. No fun just out driving around. How do we know that? Well, the interlock device these days, they all have a web camera, so that when you blow in, it takes a picture, so we know it's you blowing into it. And they're all equipped with GPS, so we know where you were when you started it, and where you drove, and where you turned it off. So DWI court graduates have about a 4.8 rearrest rate for DWI. So about 5% of them go back out and drink and get rearrested. The national rearrest rate for somebody who gets a DWI is a third of them get another one.
So what do you do if I'm driving Steve's car and he's the guy that
No. Only zero. Yeah. So we have 26 participants in the Second Circuit in the 3 counties. And those are people that are currently in the DWI court or have a limited driving privilege with an interlock device in. There are 10 of them that are currently still in, they haven't graduated yet, they're still in the DWI court. So I'm seeing them every week or maybe every other week. They average 409 days clean of those 10 people. So we have a couple that are fairly new, but they've been proven. Jane proves it with their urine that they've been clean for over 400 days. We had 5 graduates this year. that completed the program. Now, they still have to have the interlock device. They average 661 days clean. The graduates remain on the limited driving privilege with the interlock device until they're eligible to get their driver's license back from the Department of Revenue, and most of those are 10-year denials. If you get so the third DWI that you get is a felony, and that's at a minimum a 10-year denial, and it might, depending on the circumstances, it might be a permanent denial forever, and they need it.
And that usually is when they have hurt someone else.
Yeah, if there was an
accident.
injury involved in an accident, they're going to get denied forever unless they have the interlock device in their car forever. I get those reports every month. They email them to me. I'll show you one in a minute. I look at those every month. And if there's anything fishy, I issue a notice requiring them to come into court and explain to me what they've been doing and explain the numbers that don't match up.
We had a really funny one when Judge Steele was still there, is that I saw that she was at Dairy Queen late in the evening every night. So Judge called her in and said, "What are you doing at Dairy Queen or in that area every night?" And she said, "Well, after 8 o'clock, you get a $2 shave, and that's what I'm doing." And he was like, "Is that on your LDP?" "Well, it is, because that's my groceries." So, yeah, they try everything.
So this is an interlock report. I don't know if you can read it or not, but right here, it shows this is a summary. It shows every time they started the car in the last month. That one, I think it says 142. And right above it, that's a 6. And that shows if there are any violations. And with this guy, there were 6 rolling test violations. So he's supposed to be blowing into it while he's driving, and he either didn't.
And this guys is a normal dump, they call it.
Yeah.
So if you print it off, it's every second.
Is that him?
I didn't think.
So what I get is a summary. And so this is what happened. What day and time did the lights start blinking and the horn start honking because he had failed the rolling test? I dragged this guy back into court and I said, "What's going on? By the way, 142 times in a month is way below your last month and the month before that and the month before that." And he said, "Well, the battery on my truck died. So I bought a different truck." Does that make sense to anybody here? And I've been driving it because I haven't had a chance to put the interlock device in my new truck. And so he's sitting in the Macon County Jail right now waiting to go to prison.
And we're pretty sneaky, aren't we, Judge?
I am not sneaky. Jane, on the other hand, is real sneaky.
So I laid it in his ditch and found out that he was driving that.
Yeah, and
I'm
that's
46 and I lay in ditches to prove my point.
I believe.
Yeah, I know you do.
And now this guy's not the brightest bulb in the. He was driving the other vehicle to go see his probation officer, and he was parking a couple of blocks away and walking. Okay, well that seems a little suspicious. So they sent somebody to follow him, and they saw that he got in the other vehicle. And that's what we do not tolerate. If you're going to drive, you're going to drive with the interlock device. And really, there's only one reason why you wouldn't drive in the vehicle with the interlock device. It's because you're drinking. So, on the internet, if you click on this, this doesn't show GPS, but you can follow exactly where it went. It has a nice little map. You can watch. And if they're being legitimate and law-abiding, what are they doing? They're going to work, okay? They're going to the grocery store. They're going to their AA meeting. And so we can look at that. And, of course, they develop a pattern after a couple of months where if something unusual is going on, we know to look into it, bring it back into court, The last guy brought back into court had only started his vehicle 9 times. And so I yanked him back in a month. And so I brought him back in, and he brought me all of the paperwork to show that the vehicle was disabled. He didn't have the money to get it fixed yet. He brought his brother with him who's been driving him everywhere. I mean, they know that I'm watching, and that they're going to have to come in and explain to me if it doesn't look normal. So all of that being said, the reason we do this is to try to cut down on drunk drivers, to make our community safer. And I can tell you, I think it's really working really well. So thank you all. Questions?
So if the Department of Revenue takes their license, then, but you let them drive with the interlock device only then?
Yes.
So they technically don't have a license.
It's like a hardship. They have to show proof of insurance and the installation of the interlock device, and then I sign an order that says you're allowed to drive and go to work and go to treatment and go to court. And
So that way, I guess if they're driving somebody else's vehicle and they get pulled over, they know.
yes, yeah. And these records are shared with law enforcement. The cops know who's got one and who doesn't. And the order that I sign is actually their driver's license, so they have to take it with them and show it to the police.
Do DWIs, like if somebody went to get DWI and they lost it forever, moved to Missouri, does that follow?
It does, yeah. There's a national database that the Department of Revenue looks at. First of all, here, this is, you have to sign an application to get a driver's license. And on the bottom, you all read it and don't remember that it says, I have no previous DWI. And if people sign those and that's false, they forward those to the prosecutor because that's a forgery. They don't, and they do a fair amount of it. So, but there's a database and they check to see if you're eligible or have ever been suspended in any of the other states. So yeah, it's not foolproof, but it's pretty good.
And you might mention that our LDP in Missouri is sometimes not recognized by another state. Right now, Nebraska will not recognize a Missouri LDP. We had a guy working in Nebraska, and he could not drive up there. He had to drive with a coworker. Once he hit the Nebraska line, he technically had no license. So you have to, if you're going somewhere to work, because we have several that work in another state because of construction or welding or something like that, you have to double check, because if you don't and you're caught over there, you go to jail because they don't honor LDPs.
Where are the treatment centers supposed to get it?
Kirksville has preferred family. Lewis County has what used to be called Hannibal Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse. They got a new name, Turning Point.
Turning Point.
They have an office in Canton. We send some people to Hannibal to their inpatient facility, and preferred as an inpatient facility in Kirksville. We don't currently have anybody that does that kind of thing in Knox County, which I would love to see changed. But so far, the numbers don't justify them opening a place here. So we send people, and we really sort of let them pick. Do you want to go to preferred? Okay. Do you want to go to Turning Point? We'll let you go there, and then we kind of let the case follow them one way or the other. But it's definitely available. This and the drug court program are available to Knox County people. We have 3 LDPs.
3 graduates from here.
Knox, yeah.
They're out of DWI.
And another set of people that are in the drug court program that are from Knox County.
Yeah.
Do we have an AA group in Knox County?
Yes, we do. Yeah, Jim Lasher. He does AA up here with Debbie Dick and Jim Dick.
So, we're coming. Anyway, thank you.